It is not particularly warm out. That's okay. Let's check our audio. Check, 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 check. Let's check our audio. Check, 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 check. That sounds good. Hey, B Sniper's here. What's up, B Sniper? Let's check our audio. Do 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 do. Oops. Ah, that'll do it. You gotta actually plug the cord in, bro. Oh, okay. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Trying to stay warm out here. Trying to stay warm out here. Whoa, that could have been bad. Do 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 do. All right, so let's start with some brief warming up. Guys, we're coming up on 6,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. It's not even been a whole year since we started posting on YouTube. Oh, trying to get loose. We're gonna hit some balls out here today. Work on our swing. Doing a lot of mobility stuff. I can do that way. You can do this way. Hey, AFK Hero is here. B Sniper says, are you into gaming? Yeah, I do some gaming. I have been playing quite a lot of Battlefield 6 with my gaming buddies. I'm probably good for about an hour a day. I was an Xbox guy for a really long time, but I've been doing more PC gaming of late. About a year ago, I got myself a kind of entry-level PC. Jamin says, dig the sweater. Thanks so much, Jamin. What about you, B Sniper? Are you a gamer? I guess we're all gamers if we're golfers to some extent, right? But am I going to hit those clubs? I hope I'm not going to. You know what? If you have to ask, it's probably better just to move them. Hi. You want to be a superstar? Tired? You gotta run in a circle too. Oh. That's great.
I feel like I'm gonna get feedback and saying don't make so many jokes. Because I started it off, I was like, alright, let's get into it.
PC is obviously the best.
And I was like, I sure am.
I think it's okay to be yourself. B Sniper says, I play a lot of Fortnite and make a few videos. I'll have to check those out, my guy. You sound America. I sure am. Gifted $20 super chat. If that was true, it would give you the little super chat thing. But that was a sneaky little type your own name in. Oh, just gonna do a little bit of loosening up, hit some chippy 8-irons. Yeah, faked. Yeah, you got a good IB sniper. What kind of videos do you make? Do you do mostly like silly, Fortnite memes, or are you getting tons of dubs out there? All the above? Best of luck with the channel. Thanks so much, Mark. Some Fortnite memes and silly stuff. I love it, B Sniper. I'm excited to go check that out when I'm done streaming here. While we're warming up and getting the body loose, I'm doing a test tomorrow on a Saturday. Fortnite test? What does that mean? Jamin says, how we feeling today, John? I'm feeling okay. I think the stuff with my knee has been bumming me out quite a bit, but that's okay. To determine what secondary school I get into. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I wish you best of luck, B Sniper. Make sure you get a good night's sleep and have some breakfast. Those are always things that helped me in exams. Bro, I'm so shit. How to get better at golf? You got to practice impact mogging, so I'll teach you really quick. This is a great drill you can do. Just grab a towel, like I'm practicing here, tuck it under your arms, and just go to the range and make a bunch of little half swings and learn how to get the club, the center of the club on the ball. Just learn how to chip it like that over and over and over again. But what you're trying to develop is, can I get the center of this club face on the ball? Can I control where this club face is pointing at impact? And can I strike the ball first and then the turf? You got it, B Sniper. Jamin says throw a prayer for a speedy recovery, brother. Keep swinging. Thanks, Jamin. I'm deciding whether or not to have the full ACL reconstruction surgery, sooner or later. And given the recovery timeline, as you guys have probably heard, with big knee recovery things, it's like 6 to 9 months, and that feels like a lot of time to, at least minimum of 6 months before I could play golf again. So we'll see if we can maybe do some physical therapy, and I've got this big brace coming that I think should help as well. I don't know how if I'll be able to play golf effectively wearing that brace, but that's what they recommended. They said you should probably, wait as long as you can to have the surgery. Me and my friend are going to the driving range after the test tomorrow. Awesome. Mogging, can you show some drives? Not at the moment, because you guys are right where the driver tee needs to go. And also, I would definitely recommend, like I'm doing some warming up before you jump right into hitting drivers. Hey, Harper's here. What is your average amount of views, roughly? Do you mean on a live stream or on a short, or... It totally depends, guys. It depends on the time of day, depends on the day of the week. Jamin says, make the right decision for you. I think it's safe to say your subs will be here for you. Well, I appreciate that, Jamin. That means a lot. Do you still want to hang onto the TaylorMade bag? Yes, I do. It's not, I don't think that one's going to be for sale. Beast Sniper says live stream. I would say anywhere from like 10 to 50,000 views. But like I said, it really depends on, also the length of the live stream, of course, matters. If I just hop on for 20 or 30 minutes, that might only be like, 5 to 10,000 views. Hey, Fox FMX is here. But I'm still very new to this, guys. I only started posting on YouTube in January of this year. And I don't have any sort of film background, or I had very minimal video editing experience. I was really just trying to figure it out myself. So I still feel like I'm a new beginner YouTuber, just like a lot of you guys. We're coming up on 6,000 subscribers, which is awesome. Really working on keeping this face stable through the hit. Harper says, just kidding. Well, that's okay to ask. I appreciate the interest. Any tips for starter YouTubers? I think just be consistent. And, if you're not sure about it, if a video is good or not, just hit send. Just send it anyway. You'd be really surprised that some videos where I spend tons and tons of time on and they totally flop. And there's other ones where I just kind of slap them together, you throw them up, and you're like, wow, that video did really well. So I think it's all a learning process. And the more experience, the more repetitions you get, the better. What do you film with? I do everything on my iPhone, guys. All the editing, all the filming. It's just a very simple setup, a tripod and an iPhone. Hey, Adam's here. 1 week, brother. Thank you so much for coming back to share your story, bro. Adam is 7 days into his sobriety journey. We've been checking in every step of the way, so drop some likes, drop some hearts in the chat for Adam. That's amazing work. I've been posting for 2 years, only in the 100s for subscribers. Well, I think that just means that, you could always try to do something differently, right? That could be posting more, posting slightly different types of content. But in the grand scheme of things, 2 years is still a fairly, small amount of time. Right? If you started going to the gym and you did it for a couple of years, you would certainly make some progress, but you wouldn't be like, all right, I'm done. You gotta keep pushing. Tips on starter cigar for the bachelor golf outing. I don't know if I actually have a good one. I haven't smoked cigars for a few years now. I used to really like Perdomo. If you're going to spend a little money, they had like a 10th anniversary cigar that I thought was excellent. More consistent. Yeah, so I post every single day, guys. That could be one short or one live stream, or it could be 10 shorts and 2 live streams. It all depends on how much time I have. Thank you for letting me use this awesome platform for my accountability. Absolutely, Adam. Well, we're here for you, bro. I can't promise that there's going to be a live stream every single day to check into, but you can always drop a comment or send me an email if you need, a check-in or somebody to say, hey, I'm having a tough day. I'm always happy to be a resource. Do you play Fortnite? I have not played Fortnite for a very long time. I can remember when it first came out playing it a little bit. That seems better, making some progress. I've been really working on stopping the flip with my hands, compressing better, and good ball flight, but I can't quite get it to draw more of a cut. Any tips to draw without flipping? Yeah, so all you got to do, Ben, is maintain those impact conditions and those wrist angles and things that you're finding better success with in terms of the strike, but be able to do that with a slightly more closed club face. That's all you need to do. to get the ball curving the other direction instead of a slightly open face at impact. If you get that face more shut, you'll see the ball curving right to left. So you can practice those things independently. What I would suggest doing, if you're saying, hey, whatever I'm doing as far as the compression is really working, we'll see if you can do that and hit a huge hook, right? Not a draw, but just what do you have to do to hit a huge slinging draw, a big hook? There's a teddy in the corner of my room and it's freaking me out. That would freak me out too, bro. Got to work really hard on my posture this winter, guys, trying to keep that nice and clean. That seemed like a really quality rep. Let's take a look. Nice. Adam says, getting easier every day so far. Not to say I'm over it. This plus the Sober Psychic act has been a huge help. That's awesome, Adam. I'm glad that you're finding some things that are helping and working for you. That's always been my dream with starting this channel, was to use my experience and articulate it in a way that resonated with people and that they could maybe, take something away to make a change in their own life. And to know that that's happening for a whole bunch of you guys out there, that's awesome. I mean, it makes me super proud of my commitment to doing this. It makes me proud of you guys, because you guys are fighting the same fight and doing the same work that I'm doing every single day. It means a lot to me. It really does. Is it really cold outside, or is it just British people? Hey, Keeper's here. What's up, Keeper George? Yo-Yo Anderson is here. What's up, my dude? It is pretty cold out. It's like around 40. 40 Fahrenheit. So that's the kind of... These are the moments, Adam... And I'm only calling you out because we were just talking about it, but these are the moments where I feel so fulfilled and validated about doing this stuff, and it makes me want to do it more. And, if I can find some way to continue building our community, while I'm learning how to make this into a self-sustaining endeavor, right, I'm imagining being able to spend not a couple hours a day, but like 10 to 12 hours a day making content and filming stuff. And if I could do that and pay my bills, I think I would feel incredibly fulfilled. To be able to just, help more people and do more content and travel to collaborate with people, that sort of thing. But this is what it looks like, guys. We're just doing it day after day after day. Consistent effort. D-Mac said hi. What's up, D-Mac? Appreciate you saying hi. B Sniper says, so you get more subscribers in live stream or normal videos and shorts? It's interesting. It totally depends. There are some live streams that I've had where we get, 100 new subscribers, and similarly, I've had some shorts that are in that same ballpark. But to be honest with you, B Sniper, it depends. I think my analytics say that it's about 50-50 in terms of total, like where new subscribers come from. Yo-Yo says, I've got golf competition with everyone in my academy class, and then next week I've got an actual competition. It's also the same week as my birthday. Well, you got a lot going on. That's a lot of golf stuff coming up. That's pretty exciting. How are you able to keep the same tempo as your practice swing? I seem to have a tick. I can't keep that tempo when addressing the ball. Anyone else have this issue? Keeper says, love the vids. Thanks, Keeper. Yo-Yo says, November 21st. Well, you got some time to do some prep, do a couple hours on the putting green. So as far as tempo, guys, it is a thing you can practice and work on. One of the drills that I like the most, Eric, is taking the club to the top and then letting it pause for like a full second. We call this, a pause drill or the freezer drill. So you're going to send that club up and just let it hang there for a second. And that's going to force your body to really sequence things nicely. And you can just do a lot of reps of that drill, and that should help a ton with the tempo. Another thing that I like to visualize is, if you guys have ever been to a carnival or an amusement park, they have that pirate ship ride, right? That goes up and it swings down and then back up, right? We want our golf swing to kind of have that similar tempo. You got to put some energy into it at the bottom, but that pirate ship from the top, when it gets sent up to that one side, right? It doesn't jerk back down really quickly. It kind of hangs there for a moment, and then it's fast at the bottom, right? So you send it up. It's, you know, it almost hangs in space for a second there, and then we send it back down, right? Just like that pirate ship ride. So try to imagine something like that. DMAC, why was that so motivational? You just gained a sub. Thanks so much, DMAC. I think that is a big part of you know, the category of content that I would fall into at this point, right? Is that motivational or inspirational bucket. I know it's a lot about golf and we talk about golf stuff, but you know, when it comes to the sobriety content and the mental health stuff that I talk about, I want people to understand that it is possible to change your life. I'm not going to stand here or ever make content and say it's easy. Oh, just flip a switch, just lose a bunch of weight or fix your mental health or quit drinking. These are not easy things, but they are possible things. And that's what I want people to take away more than anything from my content. If I can do it, you guys certainly can. There's nothing special about me, guys. I'm just a guy who decided to make some changes in my life, and I started putting one foot in front of the other. You do it one day at a time. Look at views. It is 1, 2, 3. There you go. I saw that video on YouTube Shorts as well. Awesome. Thanks for the tip. You got it, Eric. For my birthday, I'm getting the MLM2 Pro. Very cool, Yo-Yo. Eric said the conquistador. I love it. You make motivational content and it doesn't just go for golf topic. That's exactly right. Golf is just a vehicle or a container, guys. If you want to watch amazing golf and get great golf instruction, I'm not going to be the guy for, you know, the top tier A1 of any of those things, right? You can watch the PGA Tour Thursday through Sunday and watch the best players in the world, right? You know, I'm here to offer something different, a community that's optimistic and uplifting and is a place where people can come be themselves and be honest, where you can say, hey, has anybody ever else felt that way? And I'm going to say, yeah, I've been there. Paul, hello, John, out smashing it. Amazing, Paul. Hope you're doing well, my friend. But I do think it's important for there to be content and discussion around these issues. I think it helps with their social stigma. If you guys can, you know, look at somebody like me who's willing to be vulnerable and talk about these things and the experiences I've had, I think it makes a difference. I think it helps people feel less alone. You know, we're all having uniquely intense, deep human experiences. If we can help each other along the way, whether it's through this kind of platform or another one. What's that drill you're doing with the towel? Great question, Reese. So this is to help maintain the connection between my chest and my arms and the club, right? So if I make some mistakes in my swing, say my right arm starts flying, I'm going to lose the towel. It's going to fall out. And the same thing, if I chicken wing through impact and disconnect here, right, we've lost the towel again. So I'm training the strike or the impact with the ball and making sure I maintain that connection. And for me, I'm also working on keeping that club face more stable. My tendency has been to kind of let it roll over this way. So those are the things that I'm working on when I do this drill. What sport do you think is mostly for lazy people? I don't think there's many sports that are really for lazy people, guys. If you're interested in sports and bettering yourself and learning a skill, you're probably not a very lazy person. Be one with the towel. That's funny. Connor said hi. Hey, Connor Jojo. I'm going to try that once I heal up. Oh, what do you got going on, Reese? I hope you feel better soon. Paul said snooker. That's a good one. Or darts, maybe. But I think darts is too electric to go in that bucket. The vibes are too good. Maybe chess, but that's not, again, I don't like any of these examples, right? I don't think there's that many lazy people that are interested in bettering themselves. And Reese said gallbladder surgery. Hey, Tasty Fish is here. Amazing setup. Thanks, Ozzy. Good shit, John. Loving the positive energy and the want to help people in golf. I appreciate your comment, bro. Thank you so much. But darts isn't boring, totally. Yeah, no slight meant on the darts at all. Let's see how that rep looked on camera. I was really happy with that one. What is the towel under the arms helping with? So the idea here, guys, is to keep that connection between the club and our arms and our chest. It makes it harder to flip the club, right? We're trying to keep this towel tucked under our arms through the entire swing. This is going to help you keep that, if your elbow starts flying this way or this way, you're going to drop the towel. You can also do this with a band. I prefer actually using the band instead of the towel for a little bit less bulk, but this works great. And again, I'm just working on turning in the backswing and turning in the follow through as well. The towel trick helped me so much. There you go, Ozzy. See? I'm not the only one out here doing this drill. And it doesn't have to be fast, guys. It can be, 50%, 60% speed. You're trying to train a motor pattern. Not do it super fast, right? Paul's been helping us with our swing quite a bit in the chat. All the way from across the pond. Working hard not to pick it up quite so much in the backswing, but really keep it nice and wide. Just little things. Mil-spec. Just stumbled across this while taking a break. I'm in my garage doing the exact same thing. That's awesome, Mil-spec. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for saying hi. Oh, very cool, Ozzy. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's incredibly nice. I really appreciate that. Everybody drop a like or a thumbs up for Ozzy with a very generous donation. Thank you so much. We're going to keep saving up these donations and get a new hitting mat, guys. Check this out. I mean, we've really been putting in lots and lots of time. This side's totally torn up. But just goes to show you, you don't have to spend a ton of money to keep improving and working on your game. In the UK, it's night, so I might get off and sleep for the test tomorrow. Wish me luck. Good luck, B-Sniper. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your engaging questions and comments in the chat, as always. Looks more in plane when you're back on the inside. There we go. Hey, Anderson is here. Hearts for Ozzy. No probs. Keep at it. Thanks, Ozzy. Anderson is back. I changed my name. There you go. I'm glad you guys are here. Like you always see you see me in my videos, guys. I like to say we're in this together. I mean that as humans. I mean that in the community that we're building together here on YouTube. But there's lots of ways to be convinced that we're very divided or different people, and it's just not true. People are people everywhere. And without you guys, I'd just be yelling into the void, so. I'm incredibly grateful for all you guys who continue to show up and support me and motivate me, right? I know that, I try to put out a lot of motivational stuff and inspire people, but you guys inspire me too. I hear your stories and the comments from people about different topics. There was one that really was incredibly impactful for me recently. There was somebody who said, I love your content and talking about sobriety and stuff, but they shared some of their experience about losing people who they were close with. And it's a good reminder, guys, that I do consider myself very grateful and lucky to have, coming up on 5 years now without alcohol. And because not everybody is fortunate in that way to have the support or the resources or the ability to make a big change like that. And not everybody escapes this disease. Right? Alcoholism kills millions of people every single year. It's easy to focus on the good stories, right? He had a problem and he fixed it and now he's doing great, but that's not the reality for everybody. So, it's a good reminder that perspective is important. There we go. Have you been out to the driving range? I've not been to the range recently, Paul. I do need to go so I can hit a bunch more drivers. I'm working on the driver quite a bit. Trying to stay warm mostly, guys. What is it in Celsius? What is 39 Fahrenheit in Celsius? Somebody tell me. There we go. Adding a little more speed to it now. So all that is to say, guys, I'm incredibly grateful for your support and everybody who continues to show up time after time to these streams and to the videos to support me. I'm so mad at all my friends because they all vape. I've been there myself. I was a heavy nicotine user for a long time, guys. Smoking cigarettes in college, chewing tobacco in high school, years of using the Juul and then Zyn. So it's hard. I get it. It's really hard once you start using nicotine to get out of it. I probably tried a dozen times to quit before it finally stuck. And I'm about, almost the same, about 4 years. 4 years nicotine free. But it is really hard. And I think it's important, education can help a lot. Anderson, just, you don't have to try to scare them or convince them to change their behavior, but just say, hey, here are some facts. Here's some data about the risk to your health. That was something that helped me finally quit. Was I was at the dentist and he said, dude, you're not there yet, but you are right on the edge of needing to go for biopsies because your gums are all jacked up and, if you keep using this stuff, you're headed for gum disease or cancer. And I was like, whoa, that's a real wake-up call. And I needed that to make a change. And I'm proud of myself for doing that. But it doesn't have to get to that point, right? You can convince people, hopefully, that, or they could make a change before it gets to that point. Paul says, I'm a smoker, John. You only live once. Hey, I'm not here to tell people how to live their lives. I'm just here to show you if you want to make a change, that it is possible. Right, Paul? You look and swing just like Fleetwood. It's funny you say that, guys, because I have been posting. It's day 5 now. I've been trying to get a comment from Mr. Fleetwood himself on a video, either here or on Instagram, because we get that comment quite a bit about the similarities between my appearance and the golf swing. So it's a little ironic. I have told them it's going to happen 100%. I love the optimism, Jamin. I think we'll get there. Right? It might take, a month, but that's okay. I got plenty of swings from different courses, and All right. It only took maybe 50 swings, but I'm starting to feel a little more nimble. Hi from South Korea. Welcome in, Jin Q Kim. All the risks of vaping. Yeah, I think it's important to understand those risks, but the reality is, Anderson, you can't force people to change their behavior. You can educate them and help them with resources. But at the end of the day, people are responsible for their own health and decisions, and that's a hard realization to come to say, no matter what I do, no matter how much I care and try, you really can't force people to make a change. Good swing. Thanks so much. Einlay. Give me a shout out, please. My name is Einlay. I've seen people quitting and getting cancer. Don't worry about it, bud. When your time's up, it's up. I really tend to agree with you, Paul. But, we could all get hit by a bus tomorrow. And that's why I think it's so important to enjoy the time you have to live your life in an impactful way, because all you're guaranteed is today. This moment that we're in right now. It's the only time you can live in. Everything in the past is a figment of your imagination, just like the future. We're all just living in the present, moment by moment. And it's important to try to live that way. It can be helpful on the golf course. Hey, Sahil's here. The swing from the last Tommy video had some crunch to it. There we go, Jamin, love it. Exams are finally done. Hell yeah, Sahil, how'd it go? Paul said, yep, exactly, love it. I was maybe a little bit open on the club face, but the strike was good. I know, but they're like 13, which is so risky. I know. It is definitely too young, I think, to be... You're not really, your brain isn't fully developed. You should not be putting chemicals in your body. I think really before the age of 25, to be honest with you guys. Your brain is still changing and developing, and I say this as somebody who, drank alcohol and used nicotine and all kinds of things. Yeah, you got to give yourself a chance to finish cooking, right? I'm from Ireland, and Anderson is from the UK. Very cool. I was just over in Ireland myself, guys. I love that country. It's my first time there this summer. Wonderful people. We had some excellent food. There we go. Now I'm really starting to feel the club just set a little, and then we're firing it back down. Nice swing also from the UK. Thanks so much. We went to Dublin and Galway and, did some typical touristy things, went to the Cliffs of Moher and things like that. But I really, really enjoyed the west coast of Ireland. How's that for tempo, guys? But now I live in Cyprus. It's amazing here. Cyprus does sound beautiful. I've never been. Jason said tiger. New mat needed. Yeah, we definitely need a new mat, guys. That's pretty high on the list of enhancements that we need to make. But at the same time, I think it's important to, in the vein of reduce, reuse, recycle, there's plenty of life still in this mat. I just got to be a little more creative about, which spots I hit off of and which clubs I use where. But, there's so much overconsumption and overproduction. I remember reading, or maybe my wife told me, that we have enough clothing for the next 6 generations already made, and it's mostly all being wasted and thrown out. Right now, there's a bunch of earthquakes happening in Cyprus. That sounds scary. I've experienced some earthquakes when I lived in California. Did you enjoy swinging like Scotty when your right foot was getting pulled through to your left foot? That was good to see. You do that because you could feel the lateral movement. Yeah, I think I felt like I was hitting driver really well when I was swinging that way, and it was mostly almost feeling like I was falling away in transition, because for so long with the driver especially, I started going this way and then like this. So to be able to stay in it and almost feel like my chest was moving backwards, it certainly wasn't, but right, almost like bowling, right? The way you would let that lateral move. You should really throw that mat in the garbage. I'm not ready to do that yet. Hey, Daxie's here. Corey's here. Good morning from the Philippines. Welcome, Martin Dennis Garcia, my friend. Little Friendly Creator said hello. 5.2 magnitude. That's a lot. Are you in the U.S.? Yes, east coast of the U.S. Very true. Lots of life in the mat left yet, even though you've destroyed the main parts. Yeah. I'm a beginner. What does the towel do? So this drill, guys, is working on building connection in the golf swing. So I can't, if I were to chicken wing through impact, I'm going to lose the towel over here. If in the backswing I let my arms start flying or doing crazy stuff, getting disconnected, I'm going to drop the towel on that side. So it really helps us turn and turn, keeping that club face nice and stable. Right, just like that. If you stand up really tall, yep, same as bowling, exactly. I'm struggling with driving on the course. Is it okay on the range though, Andy? Tell me more. Can you shout out Emmy, please? Yeah, shout out to Emmy. Daxie, what are you doing? Oh, we just answered that. Martine's got a 6:20 tee time with the boys. Love to hear that, my friend. Nice and early, get out there. Be finished up, before lunchtime. Hopefully have a nice, good pace to the round. You don't have to wait around too much if you get out nice and early. That's awesome, man. Vibes are going to be high. What club are you using? This is 8-iron. I have the same reason with please even in like 3 weeks, please. Tell me more. Batinda? Keep it up, bro, from Northern Canada. Thanks so much for saying hi, my friend. How do you stop overdraw with irons? Hit 7-iron 170, but way too far left. You got to get the face more open. Learn how to hit some big cuts. If you're overdrawing, right, that face is too close, pointed to the left in impact, right? So we're going to see that ball really get going to the left. Get that face more neutral or pointed to the right for you. You'll see that ball fly a lot straighter. If you're on the range practicing, you could learn how to hit some big cuts, some huge slices, and what do you have to do within the confines of your own swing and feels to get that face open. Pounding drivers to building snowman. Yeah, I'm not ready for that yet, Arliss. You must already have snow, though. Just turn and turn. Hear that strike? That's what you want it to sound like. You need a new mat. Hope you're well. Hey, Paul, thanks so much. Yeah, we're gaining on it. I think there's some life left in this mat yet, but I am in... I don't know what flag that is. Tell me what country that is. I'm very excited to meet new people. Wow, this live popped up and I'm here wanting to get sober, and you are a channel that talks about it. Nice one subscribed. Amazing, Golf to 4. Yeah, we talk a lot about sobriety. I am, it'll be 5 years for me since my last drink, coming up in March. So I'm, a little over 4.5 years into my journey, since I last drank. And it's the best thing I ever did. I don't think I would be here alive today as a person if I hadn't quit. Which is hard to say out loud, to really admit to yourself, like, it was pretty bad. I was really drinking a lot, and it was affecting my mental health. It was affecting my interpersonal relationships. But at the same time, I'm really proud of myself for deciding to make a change and sticking with it. And here I am, almost 5 years on. And to now have this platform, be able to talk about it and share experiences with people, and have you guys say, this is helping me. This is helps me not feel so alone. I'm not going through this by myself. Adam was just in here and he just hit 7 days, which I'm like, that's incredible. You know, that this platform and can help build some accountability, and we can build that community. Center hip, but too much draw. You got to get that face more open, guys. I'm in Rwanda. Very cool, guys. Let's drop a like for our friends in Rwanda. Paul says, this man is a great role model for golfers and humans. Anyone who's new to this channel, he's a great guy. Thanks so much, Paul. I appreciate you saying that. What are you hitting with your 8-iron? On the golf course, probably like 160. If I really had to step on it, 165. But for the most part, I love hitting it in that 155 to 160 range. It's a nice, comfortable, you know, maybe 90% golf course swing. John, if you're ever in Cyprus, I would love to take you on the course. Just tell me what course, I'll be there. That's awesome. I appreciate you saying that. If I am in Cyprus, we'll make sure to do a post about that or something. Jamin and Paul agreeing with what Paul said. That's very cool. James says, hit a drive 290 2 days ago. That's incredible. 290 is some serious speed. Oh, that was one of the best ones yet, guys. That's nice. Monkey farts. What's a good drill? This one's a good drill. This towel drill, building some connection in our swing to turn and turn. Keep our chest moving and the arms in front. Brilliant stuff. I'll definitely be following along from now on. Get myself sober. Not played golf for 2 years and was off +1 last time I played. Well, so you definitely know what the process looks like, right, bud? If you've become a plus handicap golfer, I've been a +1 in the past before. I play off 1.3, I think, right now. You know what it takes. It's just dedication, day after day. Just saying, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to put in the work. And that might mean not drinking today or not drinking for the next hour. I can remember when I first quit being like, I just got to make it to lunch. Just got to make it to dinner. I would go like one meal at a time. Just get through the day. Because that's the good news, right, guys? Any change you're making, the only thing you control is today. You can do your best today, show up for yourself, put some hard work in, but there's no point in stressing about yesterday. It already happened. There's nothing you can do. You can't proactively start putting time in tomorrow. So why not be laser focused on what you can do today? What is a tangible step I can make to change something that I want to change, right? But oftentimes, just starting is the hardest part. You know, the version of me that you see in front of you couldn't have existed 5 years ago. If you told me 5 years ago that I lost like 80 pounds, I quit drinking, I quit using nicotine, I learned how to manage my mental health and anxiety. This version was incomprehensible some time ago, but I got here the same way that any hard thing gets done. It's just one day at a time, one step at a time. Nice runners. Thanks so much. Anderson, we don't have it set up, but I use a Rapsodo mobile launch monitor. In Rwanda, the golf course is called Kigali Golf Resort and Villas. I can have the same reasons. I hit my 54 130 to the center of the green. That's awesome. Did you guys ever use the old European system or always the world handicap system? In the old UK system, it was so hard to get down to +2. Now I see so many average golfers playing off 2 to 5 handicaps. I don't know, to be honest with you, Paul. I've only ever had experience with the US handicap system. I think what you're describing is like vanity handicaps, which you don't have to worry about too much, right? If someone says they're a 3 handicap, but they should be like an 8, well, they're only hurting themselves in a net competition, right? Felt like a pro. The practice is already paying off. See, Gunner? It's exactly what we were talking about. You just put in some time. You prepare yourself. You practice. You start to see results. That wasn't hit very well. That one felt a little more like kind of inside on the takeaway. What are some good things to think about in a golf competition? Great question, Anderson. I love talking about competitive golf because I I still play tournament golf. It's one of my favorite things about this game is that, you got 18 holes in front of you and no one's coming to save you. You've got to get the ball in the hole 18 times. You can make a 2 or a 12 on any hole, and you've got to keep going to the next hole. So some good things to think about. Just try to stay present, right? Try to spend 99% of your mental focus on the target, right? Where do you want to hit the ball? It could be right at the pin. It could be 2 yards left of the pin. But don't be thinking about your swing or your mechanics or the shot you just hit. Just try to stay present, stay locked in on your target. And again, there are things you can do, breathing exercises or meditation, or I like to just sometimes take a second and I'll just feel the wind hit me on my skin. And you're like, okay, I'm here. No matter what happens, if I hit a great shot or a terrible shot, I'm going to be okay. You just try to maintain your presence and navigate the round one shot at a time. Congrats on being sober. Thanks, James. Do you use meditation to help becoming sober? I don't know so much in that endeavor specifically, Paul, but I do believe that meditation is a wonderful tool, and I've done lots of guided meditation over the years. Came out of that one just a fraction, but still not bad. Have you ever tried your club in all conditions? Think happy thoughts. There you go. I don't know. In all conditions. I played in rain and fog. I have played golf in terrible weather over the years. Nice words, pal. Never thought my drinking the way I always used to think about golf practice. I was so focused and dedicated to golf. I made it work and was good. Yeah, see, you know how to do it. Oh yeah, now we're getting some speed back. Son of John Jurgen, making golf too complicated. Meditation is something I'm going to look into for sure. Yeah, it's definitely worth looking into. There was an app that I used at one point. I'm embarrassed, I'm forgetting the name of it. But it had guided meditations, and I thought they did a really good job. I use it a lot to help me sleep. That was something I struggled with for a long time, guys, was insomnia, and some of that is related to like anxiety and post-traumatic stress, but Headspace app, there you go, Paul. That's exactly the one. Thank you very much. See, this is why we got to lean on each other sometimes. This is a quick aside, but my wife and I talk about this a lot sometimes, about how, you lean on each other. That's why we have community, right, is to lean on each other. And the idea being, right, if you're doing great, right, you can stand up by yourself. This is you, right? And this is your partner, right? They can stand up by themselves sometimes. But sometimes you have to lean on them. And you're not as tall as you were before, right? But you're still upright. You're still doing okay. Conversely, they sometimes lean on you. And they're not maybe at their best, but they're still doing better than if you weren't there to support them, right? And sometimes neither of you are doing great. And you got to lean on each other. And you're even, maybe a little shorter than you were before, but still, you're way better off than being down there, right? So don't be afraid to lean on people and use them for support. I think that's a really nice way to think about it. We're not as tall as we might have been when we're at our best, but if you have somebody else to lean on, you can be, ahead of where you'd be otherwise. Downloading it now. Thanks. There you go. I play off 30. Only been playing for about 2 months. Well, 2 months into anything, guys. You got to remember, give yourself some grace to say, I'm new to this. I'm still learning. Just keep building your skills and you'll get there. Have you ever played Lego Star Wars? Because the tune you were playing while you were checking the cable was, I think, from that. Oh, if you guys have been a long time watcher of the stream, you know that the Indiana Jones theme gets stuck in my head quite easily. And you'll hear me humming the dun 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 dun. I am a big fan of Star Wars, but I have not played the Lego Star Wars game, I don't think. Paul, do you have Instagram? We do. I'm glad you asked, Paul. Go check me out on Instagram, guys. Same as here, John Young Golf. I think it's John_Young_Golf on Instagram. We just started that page, though. I think I'm coming up on 500 followers on Instagram, whereas we're coming up on 6,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is pretty cool. But same as anything, like I was just talking about. It's one day at a time, one post at a time. Wasn't the best strike, but X Blaster said hi. What's up, my dude? Show don't start till Indiana Jones comes on. There you go. Exactly right. Guys, do me a favor. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button for me. Or even better, hit that subscribe button. You can follow along. Check out all the cool stuff we're doing. Really does help us out. We're on a quest to reach 100,000 subscribers and quit our job. It's so funny. You make one post, it's like, my wife told me I could do this, and people are like, you got to get a divorce. You got to do what you want, you know. Don't let a woman tell you what to do. And I'm like, guys, this is just, you know, a post on the internet. Like, I have the most incredible, supportive wife and partner that I could ever ask for. You know, she believes in what I'm doing and talking about the same way a lot of you guys do, and I feel incredibly lucky to have so much support around me. We'll follow you on the gram. Very cool. I'm a beginner at golf. Been playing for not even 2 months, and my drive is 210. That's amazing. Keep up the hard work. What's the most famous golf course you've played on, please? Great question, Yasser. The highest rated course I've ever played, I think, is the Ocean Course at Kiawah Island. But I played a lot of really well-known PGA Tour courses. You know, Firestone Country Club. Played both the courses there. Bunch of the Cabot properties and Stream Song. Places like the Country Club, where Matt Fitzpatrick won his U.S. Open. You know, tons of really old and exclusive private clubs I've been fortunate to play at. But the Ocean Course or Firestone are probably the most famous ones, I would say. Followed on Instagram, already subscribed. Amazing. Love watching your channel. Great to see someone using golf to help people, not to sell merch. Yeah. Sounds like a drone. Ben says, Jesus, you sound like me. Could be, Ben. Yeah, I think one of the neighbors is doing some yard work. Show me a shot, King. I got you, bro. Got our 8-iron here. Been working on this towel drill. That was hit pretty good. You like that sound, guys? So like I said, this is the 8-iron. Check out this bad boy. We've been bashing this club for quite a while, hitting the center of the face mostly. Is that a leaf blower? Yeah, it seems like it. This is the most relaxing stream on YouTube. Big love from Scotland. Awesome, Fastbuck. I appreciate you saying that and being here. We have lots of Scottish supporters, which is incredibly cool. Another one of my favorite places, my wife and I went for her 30th birthday. Royal Portcall is the greatest course I've played on. Very cool, Ben. Zachariah says, I'm a pastor, and one of my congregation members' son was the assistant pro at Kiawah. I played it last year, and it was awesome. Very cool, Zachariah. Appreciate you being here. Let's see him hit the ball without the towel, as I have a problem slicing the ball. We could do that, too. The towel will probably help with your slice, though, right? If you're getting disconnected and over the top, right, you're going to lose the towel over here. Portcall is beautiful. I've never played it, Paul, but I would love to get out there. I've been practicing my drive, and it's at 200 to 230. That's amazing, Anderson. Isn't it fun? That's one of the fun parts about golf, guys, is as you build your skills and improve, you can see tangible benefits, right? I'm hitting the ball further, or I'm hitting more greens in regulation. Boop! Club twirling in the net, guys. We're club twirling in the net. Have you played Sawgrass? I've never played Sawgrass. I have played the Blue Monster, the Doral course. South Wales, get over to Europe. I'll host you for a few rounds of golf, 100%. Very awesome, Paul. I appreciate you making that offer. That's very kind. Or Spyglass Hill. I've never played Spyglass. See, this is better. If you guys ask me about specific courses, I'm much more likely to remember them because I have a terrible memory. It was a little off balance, but I hit it good. I'm playing a 3-day tournament right now, and I had one of my worst rounds in a while as my first. Do you have any tips for tomorrow? Yeah, Lenander, it's a lonely feeling, right? It stinks when you have a big tournament and your expectations are high and you don't play well. You're like, man, I'm really, this stinks. The good news is that you get a fresh slate tomorrow. Everything that's already happened, the score that you posted today, just forget about it, right? The reality is, in golf or anything that we have a performance, it's just a random sampling. Right, so on a distribution, sometimes, very rarely, you're going to have your very worst day. Right, that 1 out of 10, it was terrible. Every shot that could have gone bad went bad. Just like very rarely, you'll have a 10 out of 10 day where everything goes right, the putts fall in, the ball that is going into the trees bounces back to the fairway, right? We've all had that 10 out of 10 day. And most of them live in that, 4, 5, or 6 range, right? And kind of in the middle. That's how distributions work. So understand that you might have had a 1 out of 10 outcome today, but you don't need to go make any drastic changes. You've already prepared yourself for the tournament. Just go out and try your best. And more than likely, you're going to end up, in that distribution much more closely to where you normally play. And there's a chance you could have that 10 out of 10 day, right? You don't know until you get done with the round. But just stay focused and present and paying attention to what you're doing. That can really help. I'm very lucky where I am. In Kenfig Hill. Very cool. What was your first ever set and what clubs do you use now? Good question. My first ever clubs were like a beginner box set for juniors that I think had maybe like 6 clubs in it, a driver and a putter and a sand wedge and maybe like a 5 and a 7 iron. What I use now is definitely an upgrade. We've got Vokey wedges, these tailor-made blade irons, and then a variety of woods and hybrids. I've got a 5 hybrid, a 7 and a 5 wood, and then the driver. Those are all tailor-made as well. Man, I'll tell you what, that leaf blower, or whatever that is definitely making some noise. Very nice. Paul says, great advice. You can only control the next shot, ignore the one before, and don't think about the one after. Stay present and trust your preparation. That is great advice, Paul. I'm glad you chimed in to follow up because you're exactly right. Always train, never practice. Don't just smash balls on the range. Also great advice, Paul. Are you in the U.S.? I am in the U.S. We're on the East Coast. East Coast of the U.S., which is how you know it's about to get dark, because it's 4 o'clock. Toughest part of the year is this post-daylight savings until the springtime, right? It's dark early, it's cold, it's hard to practice golf the way we want to and get out on the course. But like anything, guys, you just got to do the best you can. See where... Let the chips fall where they may. I'm in Ireland, and it's really dark here. There you go. Imagine being in Paris. December to March is dark at 4 p.m. I know, it's so... I guess you get used to it after a while, right? But I really struggle in the winter, darker months. I love the summertime. I love the long days and the warm temperatures. Ireland, best golf in the world. I know, I really need to get back there and play some golf and do a proper trip, because I love links golf. The closest I think I've played is Cabot Cliffs up in Nova Scotia. It's, you know, really, really cool cliffside golf. Yes, but only when it's not lashing rain most of the time. Well said. Yep, that certainly could negatively impact your experience. Really focusing on controlling that club face through impact. I got the Sim 2, which is an LS model, works for me, so I'm happy. Amazing. Yeah, those Sim 2, those are like cult classic drivers. People really like those. Waterville, Dukes, Ballybunion, County Down. Wow, yeah, it is an unbelievably strong list of courses. I had a very cool experience in Scotland, guys, and I don't know if anybody else didn't know this the way I didn't, but on Sundays in St. Andrews, the golf course is just like a public park. So there's people walking, you know, walking their dogs, hanging out at St. Andrews, and so I was able to just walk around on the course, and it's crazy to see somebody just walking their dog casually in a place where you're like, that's the road hole. This is, you know, this is St. Andrews. That's the Valley of Death short of 18, and that to me was an incredibly cool experience to be able to walk around the golf course and you know, get out in that way unexpectedly. Which ball are you playing on the course? I am also playing the TP5X, Paul. I really like, you know, again, I'm really just leaning into the Tommy Fleetwood comparison, but I really like the Pix version with the little squares on it. I think watching it roll on the green is very satisfying and makes identifying your ball pretty easy. So I've been playing that TP5X Pix pretty much all season. For me, it was the right mix of, you know, low spin off the tee, but still feels pretty good around the green and off the irons. Last time when I was playing, the grass was really squishy. My chip got short and the ball was halfway in the ground. Yeah, that will definitely happen, guys, on rain-soaked grass. You get those embedded balls, plugged balls, which is why the rules are generous enough to give us relief from those situations. Another quality rep there. Felt like the strike was pretty good. Whew. 100%. I think it's the best ball out there now. Wedges spin, but not crazy. Easier control with the scoring shots. Exactly, Paul. I hit a lot of flighted wedges, you know, like these low hooking, you know, 80, 90, 100-yard shots, and I had a ton of success with this golf ball. Just, you know, one-hopping and stopping very close to where it's landing. It's not ripping back. It's not rolling out. It's kind of just, you know, it hits and stops right around where it lands, which is exactly what we're all looking for with those scoring clubs. You keep your eyes on the ball more now. Well, Paul, I've had you watching over me all this time and making sure that we're doing things properly. Don't get me wrong, guys. It's very cool to watch your golf ball, you know, spin back 20 feet on the green. If you watched the Ryder Cup, you saw a whole bunch of that when those soft conditions and you got guys hitting short irons and wedges into those greens. They were spinning back a whole bunch, but you might have remembered from the broadcast, it makes it very difficult to control the distance. Ideally, because we're all training on carry yardages, right? You want that ball that goes 100 yards. You want it to land at 100 and stop right around 100. Mickey, oh, we're talking about the TB5X. TaylorMade golf ball. That was a little bit out on the toe, just fractionally, but not terrible. I am likely going to try to get some more forgiving irons, guys. As much as I love these blades, I'm just not convinced I'm good enough to. Should I get TaylorMade P790 or Tacoma 101T? I think either way, you're going to be in good shape. Those are both quality choices. Certainly that P790 is a proven product. A little stuck, felt like. Most non-pro golfers, they'll pitch it pin high and spin it off the green and don't allow for the fact a Pro V will rip back 15 feet. Yeah, certainly if you are have enough speed and you're striking the ball properly, they will spin if you have a spinny golf ball. Guys, drop some likes for you guys. We've had well over 200 watchers for a whole bunch for this stream, which is extremely cool. Tacoma all day, have the best clubs I've ever owned. 301 MBs for me with the combo set. That's great. I tried some 301 CBs at the beginning of this year, and they were a bit too upright for me. But as far as, you know, feel and performance, it's a forged iron, guys. It's a piece of metal. There's only so much you can do to it to make it special or feel different. And at the price point they're offering, I think Tacoma is doing something really special. Randall says, just happy to be here. I'm happy you're here too. Anderson likes the Vice Pros. Those are good. Absolutely right, Dave Binky. The key to spinning it back is hitting it before you hit the ground. 30% the cost of TaylorMade. Yeah, totally. That felt really, really good, guys. I'm also like, I'm not extending nearly as much when I do this drill. Just staying nice and balanced. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's stream. Thank you so much for all your support on the channel. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you next time for another live stream.